At the end of a hard day, when you are aching and tired, there is nothing better than removing the puppy tamers and let those babies feel the air. Feel the happiness that bust freedom brings to a woman's life and embrace your comfort. Be gone, over-the-shoulder boulder holder. Adios, upper topper flopper stopper. Arrivederci balloon cocoon. Our attitude to these contraptions of torture has changed over the last few years. So in this video, we will discover the origins of the bras that we wear today, how the sports bra was invented, and a few health facts about bras, as well as dispelling the myth that if you don't wear a bra, your bust will head south. So whilst the Spudler makes herself comfortable, let's roll the intro.
Well, I hope that made you giggle. I'm not sure what my neighbours thought, but I had fun doing it. And of course, let me add my usual caveats. There was a voice changer, obviously, to start with, and I will be using that probably from time to time, possibly in this video, not sure, depends. There are some quotes, so I might have some fun with those. Hat, I'm having a bad hair day again, and as you've noticed, I have quite a few of those. And I've got the headphones on and I'm shut in because there's a little bit of noise outside, being a Saturday. Other people are out doing things, mowing lawns, jet washing, but it is actually raining. So you're going to hear a little bit of that, I'm afraid, as we go along. There's nothing I can do about that. And apologies if the sound quality isn't quite as good as it should be. Although this video is going to be a bit of fun and hopefully you'll get some information out of it, so because there's some quite fascinating facts about bras out there. The reason that I'm making this video is because there is who I consider to be a terrible human being who's walking our virtual streets within the true crime community. And she's accusing some really quite respected people within our community of some really pretty horrendous things, without proof, and this has been going on for over a year now, I believe. Now, I'm not going to address those accusations. I don't want to give them any more airtime. They don't deserve it. She doesn't deserve it. So I am going to say that anyone making those sorts of accusations without proof, well, in my opinion, there is absolutely no place on YouTube for you or your content. Not now. Not ever. Now, I'm not into cancel culture, but if this sort of content is allowed to stay on YouTube, then the restrictions that we will all be put under to stop these people from doing the things they're doing will become greater and greater. Our ability as a collective to speak our minds will become constrained because of these bad actors. And the sort of stuff she's coming out with, as far as I'm concerned, has crossed the line. So I do think that YouTube does need to now step in and stop all this, because the sort of accusations she is putting out there could get somebody seriously hurt or killed. And as far as I'm concerned, you've stepped over the line, and it really is time that YouTube or Google step in and shut you down, because you obviously can't behave. And just one other note, just to point out to everybody, anybody out there who wants to use their avatar as a squidgy little cartoon character, a picture of a puppy, or even their best friend that's a cat, it's absolutely fine in our genre. We're 18 plus. No children should be watching us. So therefore, any icons that have any sort of reference to a childlike character has got nothing to do with children. Not on that level. Because the audience is not there for that. And we know that. And therefore, we don't see it as that. Because it isn't that. So, moving on. That's all I'm going to say on that particular matter. But now we're going to move on to a less harmful and, to be honest, slightly funny method that this particular bad actor is using to attack people and to accuse them of something sinister. Because it appears that there is something very, very wrong with a woman who doesn't wish to wear a bra all the time. And there is a suggestion that it makes us somehow sinister, somehow a little bit disgusting, and definitely disrespectful. Well, of course, that 20th century thinking is really an indication of the person who's saying it and not those that she's attacking. And if you hang around these streets long enough, you will begin to see a pattern. I always like to fight ignorant judgmentalism with cold, hard facts. And so I decided to look into the history of bras and some of the health issues that women might have surrounding them. And as I started to read, I began to realise that women's attitudes to bras has changed quite dramatically over the last 40 years. So, of course, the concept of a bra has been around for millennia, but the modern bra as we know it today was in fact invented in the 19th century in what is called the Victorian era here in the UK. Since as early as the 1300s, corsets had been the mainstay of women's fashion, and we all have seen those wonderful movies and pictures of those most amazing dresses from the Tudor times. Think of Elizabeth I, for instance. These corsets actually flattened a woman's chest, and although tight-fitting, were far more forgiving on a woman's body compared to the later centuries' designs. However, from as early as the 1700s, doctors were beginning to become aware of the health problems surrounding corsets, and by the end of the 1800s, it was widely understood that by wearing a corset, a woman could suffer from regular fainting spells due to the restrictions on her breathing, and smelling salts were a common accessory of life for a woman at that time, just like a mobile is today. Sadly, it was also generally understood by the physicians of the time that late Victorian corsets caused serious organ issues and ribcage deformities in women, and these conditions would have almost certainly led to the early deaths of many a Victorian lady. However, and surprisingly, despite the pleas of their husbands and fathers, women refused to give up these fashion accessories. Well, things really took a turn for the worse in 1827 when the metal eyelet was invented. This tiny invention made it possible to tighten a woman's corset to a far greater degree, and a 17-inch waistline was not only achievable, but was expected. Over time, a two-piece corset was invented, and this would eventually lead to the bras that we know today. Now, there does seem to be an awful lot of confusion about who exactly invented the bra, but one invention that we do know about was the backless bra. While you listen to the story, I'm going to go off and try and make one.
In 1910, Mary Phelps Jacob, known later in life as Caress Crosby, a 19-year-old New York socialite, purchased a sheer evening gown for a debutante ball. At that time, the only acceptable undergarment was a corset stiffened with whalebone. Mary had large breasts and found the whalebone visibly poked out around her plunging neckline and from under the sheer fabric. Dissatisfied with this arrangement, she worked with her maid to fashion 2 silk handkerchiefs with a pink ribbon and cord.
Well, I gave that my best shot, but I guess you kind of get the feeling of the design and how it worked. And I have to say, it was really quick to make and very clever. The French term brasier, which the word bra comes from, was coined by Vogue magazine in 1912. Since then, bras have gone through lots of changes. And in 2023, the lingerie market in America was estimated to be worth $22.2 billion. So before I briefly cover the physical pros and cons of wearing a bra, I want to touch on the social and political issues surrounding these undergarments. Since the suffragettes, women have been side-eyeing their bras, and in the 1970s, there was a movement that positively encouraged women to burn their bras. In fact, whilst I was researching this video, I came across a wonderful quote from Dolly Parton, and when asked about her attitude to bras, she simply replied, "I was the first woman to burn my bra. It took the fire department 4 days to put it out." And when I first read that, I laughed so loudly, I think my neighbours heard me. So bras have become a symbol of a woman's oppression, and burning them became a demand for equality. Jump forward to the noughties, and young women were beginning to question why their bras seemed to be more about sexualising their chests and why bras were quite so expensive to buy. After all, they were in the main a woman's expense. So a film called Free the Nipple was made, and that seems to have contributed to the new belief, which is that a woman has the right to make up her own mind about what she wears. And if other women or men don't like it, well, these days, that seems to be your problem. In fact, a number of states are unique in that they each have laws expressly allowing women to go topless in any location where men can do so legally. And I can understand there's an attitude which is men don't have to wear bras, they don't have to wear jock straps, so why do women have to wear bras? Now, I totally agree with this, but with one exception, and I'll address that when I talk about women's health. But for now, it does seem that even in the workplace, if you do not wish to wear a bra, even under a uniform, you don't have to. So let's get on with the dispelling that myth regarding bras and the belief that not wearing a bra will lead to saggy boobs. There was a survey done in France, and after the 15-year study was completed, the results were published in 2013, and the conclusions were quite surprising. This is what the Huffington Post wrote at the time about it.
Conducting the study at the university's hospital, Rolyan measured and examined the breasts of more than 300 women, aged 18 and 35, taking note of how the additional support provided by bras affects the body over time. It should be noted the study does not mention breast size. Overall, he found that women who did not use bras benefited in the long term, developing more muscle tissue to provide natural support. As Francis the local notes, Rolyan also noticed that nipples gained a higher lift, in relation to the shoulders, on women who went braless. When bras are worn, the restrictive material prevents such tissue from growing, which may actually accelerate sagging.
Yay, so I can get rid of these then. In fact, why don't I just get rid of them all? But not quite, because there is one particular area where it is healthy for a woman to wear a bra, and that is when you're doing activities, and especially sports, if you're in the gym, anything like that. And there's one bra that every lady should have in her wardrobe. Chests really have just very delicate muscles that prevent us from going south, and if they get stretched, then that's when you start to get problems. So if you're jiggling up and down a bit, doing some aerobics or some yoga or whatever it is that you do, you're going out running, you do really need one of these. And it will help you not to get backache, neck strain, and basically give yourself two black eyes if you run too fast. And there is actually quite a sweet story about how the sports bra was created. So I'm going to tell you about it. So the highly useful sports bra was actually born out of a woman's desire to reduce the pain and discomfort that she was experiencing exercising in a normal bra. And she suddenly spotted her husband's jock strap, sewed two of those together, and suddenly the sports bra was born. Now, when it comes to other health issues regarding bras, the jury's out really, but it does seem now that the myth that bras could contribute to breast cancer probably aren't true. There was a combination of things going on at the time when that assumption was made, and it was more about our improved ability to diagnose breast cancer quickly and effectively than it was anything to do with its relationship to bras. But wired bras, underwired bras, we all know are pretty horrible things. And I think we've all had that experience when the underwire suddenly pops through the cloth and pokes you in the boob. Well, I have anyway. There are also some issues around skin conditions that can be caused by wearing bras, especially wearing them for too long. And also is a big debate going on about backache and neckache and whether bras contribute to that or they alleviate it. And I think the answer to all these questions is it purely depends on who is wearing it. But one thing that I have read in lots of places is that the majority of women aren't actually wearing the right size bra for them. And that is part of the problem that they may have with aches and pains. And they do recommend that you remeasure yourself every 6 months to make sure that the bra that you're wearing actually still fits, because our bodies change, and that is why an awful lot of women are wearing the wrong size bra. Now, this video is in no way meant to be any sort of way of giving you medical advice, but if you do have an issue or a concern about wearing a bra, go and do some research about it. There is lots and lots of medical information out there, and then you can make the right choice for you. And also, go and have a look and find out about how you can self-examine, because obviously breast cancer is an issue for every woman, and we all do need to be conscientious and check for that as often as we can, or as often as is recommended. And if you're in ever any doubt about your boobs and what's going on with them, go and see a doctor. So I'm going to bring this video to an end, but I'm just going to finish off with a word of warning about your bras and what you use them for, because you'd be surprised what people put down them. So please, whatever it is that you happen to keep down your bra, never put this in there. That is an absolute no-no. This has got radiation in it, and that is absolutely no good for your health. So please put that somewhere else. I know it's a handy place to put it, but you stick it down your front and it's there, but please don't. That's the one thing I know that we should not do. But pretty much everything else, it's up to you whether you don't wear a bra. No one has a right to pick you up on it, and there are court cases all the time with people challenging others that have in the workplace complained about them being braless, and the braless have always come out top. So please be comfortable. Bras should never be something one woman uses to attack another woman with. It just shouldn't happen. It's just not right. What a woman chooses to wear under, or in my case, over your clothes, is nobody else's business. It is a personal choice, and surely, in this day and age, every woman has the right to choose. And no one has the right to judge us. So I'm going to bring this video to an end now, and if you're in the true crime community, I'll see you in chat. Sometime, somewhere. Maybe.